Kayla Miller, the 2020 Stevenson County Farm Bureau intern. Today we're at Terrapin Orchards in Elizabeth, Illinois, and here to talk about his orchard is Matt Mead. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your orchard?
So my name's Matt. I'm the owner here at Terrapin Orchards. I bought the farm in 2016, and when I bought it, it was just pasture. There were no improvements on that. Since then, we've planted about 4 acres of strawberries. We also have dwarf apple trees as well. It's our main crop. We have about 6,000 different dwarf trees, consisting primarily of 8 different varieties. Our #1 variety by far is Honeycrisp. We like to grow what the consumer likes to buy. We also keep bees here too. As part of our business, we focus on not only offering an experience and a really good product, but we also want to focus on an environmental stewardship program too. We make sure that what we're doing and how we're growing is the best for the environment as well as our consumers too.
All right, so why don't you tell us about the maintenance or what goes into growing a dwarf apple tree?
So any large-scale apple production in the U.S. now is going into the dwarf high-density apple trees. Most of these apple trees you see behind us here will reach a maximum height of about 10 feet, and they'll grow kind of together as managed almost as a hedge or a fruiting wall. There's really good reasons that we're planting trees this style. First and foremost is we start to get apple production in year 3 to 4 on these little trees. If we planted more of a standard, even a semi-dwarf tree, we'd be looking at a 7 to 8 year before we're harvesting any fruit off them. That really helps from a cash flow or revenue standpoint up front. Our other reasons that we plant dwarf trees versus bigger trees would be we can grow better fruit quality on a dwarf tree. For a fruit to ripen correctly, it needs a certain percentage of sunlight directly on the fruit itself. As you take these small trees and spread them out in a line like this, you're getting more even sunlight on the surface area of all the fruit. There's nothing that's hidden within 3-4 feet of leaves. So that's a big seller for dwarf apple trees. Labor is a huge issue for any labor-intensive agricultural business. Dwarf tree production is way less maintenance from a pruning standpoint, and overall the picking is a lot easier too. Most of the fruits between 2 feet and the top of your fingertips. We can pick the vast majority of it from the ground using picking baskets. The other thing that we like about our dwarf trees is we can produce about 2.5 times as much fruit per acre in a better, higher average quality fruit. Some of the things that we have to do for maintaining our trees throughout the year, pruning is a seasonal winter thing that we have to do. We typically prune during the winter for the purpose of there's less disease pressure at that point in time. We also have more time from a growing standpoint. There's less going on. Spraying is a regular part of our business. The utilization of crop protection products is kind of like paying taxes. I'd rather never do either of them, but for all practical purposes, we have to grow a crop in this environment. Other things that we do is we do a lot of fertilization with our dwarf apple trees. We run all of our fertilizer through a drip irrigation system. This makes it 100% efficient. We waste no water, and we're able to put that fertilizer in small dilute amounts directly where the tree needs it, when the tree needs it. From an environmental standpoint, this reduces fertilizer runoff and any kind of pollution associated with that.
So how do your trees get pollinated?
So for our apple trees, every apple we grow has to be insect pollinated. Our strawberry crop, strawberries can be wind pollinated, so they're not 100% dependent on insects, but our apple trees, if you eat an apple from our orchard, some kind of insect had its hand in creating that. We've got 8 domestic beehives here on the farm, all honeybees. We get value from pollination out of the honeybees, as well as we will be selling honey in our retail stand from our honeybees too as well. Pollination for us is a very tricky window. A lot of times in that period for us, that's pollination happens between May 5th and May 20th, and we get sometimes less than desirable weather. Honeybees are kind of prima donnas. They like to fly when it's above 75, light wind, sunny. More challenging climatic conditions will keep them inside. Fortunately, who picks up the slack on that is our native pollinators. We have a really good native pollinator population here. Bumblebees primarily. Bumblebees are a little bit more hardy. They'll fly in the wind, they'll fly with colder temperatures, but they play a huge part in our growing fruit here.
All right, so what is the lifespan of an apple tree?
A dwarf apple tree, we expect them to live anywhere from 20 to 25 years. For us, that's a good amount of time. Comparatively, the larger semi-dwarf or standard apple trees could live upwards of 100 years. But we believe the trade-offs are well worth it.
Okay, and then earlier you had mentioned the picking basket, so I see you have a picking basket here. Why don't you talk us a little bit about the harvest process?
So these things are state-of-the-art technology here. This is a half bushel picking basket. Put it on your chest like yay. And with all of our trees, we can pick the fruit typically from the top of our fingertips down to here. These things improve harvest efficiency drastically. These hold half bushel, which is about 20 pounds of apples. And then once you get it full, you can take the bottom and dump it out into whatever crate you'd like it to. Pretty cool technology.
So what type of products do you sell here, or like what type of products do you make with your apples?
So, besides selling clean, fresh, washed, delicious apples, we also do some of the traditional apple orchard fall activity type items, including caramel apples. The best ones are the ones with the smashed up M&Ms. We do mini apple cider donuts. An apple cider donut in itself is delicious, but when you go with the mini donuts, you have a higher surface area. So there's more crunchy, sweet cinnamon sugar on the outside too for every donut. We also sell caramel, we sell jams and jellies. We will be selling our honey from our beehives. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, well I hope you all learned something about the apple orchard, and thank you for showing us around your apple orchard.
Yeah, we're opening for apple season Saturday, August 22nd. We'll be open through Halloween, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Stop out and see us and try some delicious apple treats.